Hey, hi, and welcome back. I'm really happy today. So, I had a holiday and I went to meet one of my friends. We had a very good and lovely conversation today. I'm glad that I met him. One more thing, thank you for your support and your love that you're showering on my videos. Really appreciate it from my deep of my heart. So, since we are going on this very rabbit hole of understanding ourselves, I always wished and I always wanted to create this very particular topic that is just messing with my head since a very long since ages. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say today. I'm trying to tell you something that is very subjective, but it is dominant right now in our reality, in our space itself. I look horrible, I know that. It's okay, it's fine, but then sometimes you're good, sometimes you're shit. Anyway, so I have been thinking about this topic since a very long, and so there is this phenomena of or saying that the people who live in a glass house shouldn't throw rocks on others. Today's very topic is about that glass house. I want everyone to listen it very close. Maybe you can be thinking from a sarcastic point of perspective. If I used to think like that, but it is something that put shivers down my spine. This very one thing that since after 2020 or maybe 2019, after the pandemic hit, there was this very surge of online space itself, where most of the jobs suddenly were relevant and a lot of positions were just opened out of nothing. People with exceptional experience, people with no experience, people with somewhat experience, everyone tried their hand, and 90% of them were able to get into whatever they wanted to do. Specifically, the IT jobs and the IT space itself. This is a generalized topic. So, now I don't remember well, but one of my friends, I was in my final year of my engineering. One of my friends told me to download LinkedIn. I literally didn't had any idea what LinkedIn is until one of my friends told that it is some sort of a social app that is a kind of your professional Instagram, and more than it, it is a place where a lot of companies they post their jobs so you can directly apply. Here's the very funny part. Okay, now I was at that very age, I was understanding myself. I was trying to figure my own self. I was trying to understand how I think and how should I react, how should I talk, how should I be able to communicate. And this new thing was a, a blast for me. Okay. Initially, for like 6 months, I used to like update it, not just with my experience. I didn't had any experience, but then whatever I used to learn, I used to just like type that thing out and fly it out on the LinkedIn space. I got my first job after like 3 months itself, after the pandemic or something. But this very pressure of maintaining your identity on a platform became such a big headache for me, just a crucial step for me, that I had to take myself into consideration whether I'm doing right or wrong. And this was the very time where TikTok was blowing up, YouTube was blowing up, new creators came on Instagram. This was the first time when I ever heard about OnlyFans and Twitch, then Slag. God knows how many of them I heard. And the now what I used to feel at that time, that this very thing, everyone has their own audience, everyone has their own people to consume, and these people who are consuming it, it is called a tribe. Since our childhood we have been taught to be ourselves, to know ourselves better, to be calculative, to be appropriate enough to understand where do you belong. We choose ourselves based on our higher traits. If we are good at sports, we would certainly seek something that is related to sports, or which is related to some sort of a physical enduring activity. If we are good at studies, we would probably be an academic professional, and vice versa. But we choose tribes. But then when you are already choosing a tribe, you are told to find a niche, your own niche that you belong. That pressure is something that people still till date are trying to cope with. This very thing of you fitting into a tribe, into some niche, this very phenomena is called identity fatigue. And I use this metaphor, glass house, because there comes a point where it's not you, it's somebody else would throw that rock on this glass house and break this whole glass house down. If you properly, like I mostly consume YouTube, not in a bad manner, but on a very average manner, to understand about news, social events in the country, then memes, cat memes, songs. I use YouTube. And it is such a thing that if one person is creating a tribe, he's creating his audience, and one fine day he says or do something wrong which is against what his own audience thinks, his ideology, if it doesn't set with this audience in one particular task, he gets a huge backlash and a huge controversy where his name is completely shattered. And I personally think that in the modern era, I would say stress is one of the things that is killing, but identity fatigue is one of the most thing that is poisoning you on every single second, every single day. And the best way to not get into the trap of identity fatigue is to understand and know that if you are a person that who is already well equipped with understanding of what you want and on a very personal level, there is no reason for you to showcase what you want to do or what you are doing. You don't need a tribe. When you cultivate this very awareness of who you are, this very problem of identity fatigue never comes. This constant stress of performance never comes. This constant stress of validation never comes. And the constant stress of expectations never come. I hope this is a very complex topic, but I have tried to talk it in a very casual, in a very friendly tone, in a very simpler manner, so that people who are watching me could understand what I'm trying to say. I hope you get my point. Because as I am trying my level best to tell people about their own self, how to figure their own self out. This is one of the crucial things that I understood during my journey. That I did had a identity fatigue for a very long time, and it took me a little time to just make myself believe and myself convince this fact that I am not the person what other people think. I am the person who I think, my own self. And it always comes down to me. If I am talking about myself, if I'm portraying about myself, it's all me. I don't have to rely on what others think, what others want, and what is the perception that people hold about me. It's more important for me to what sort of perception or what sort of deeds I do for my own self. And I really want, if you understand this video, implement this factor, you would be 90% lighter from normal people. It is my guarantee. The only thing that you need to always strive for is to be aware. Create abundance amount of awareness into your mindset, your mind itself, that you become fulfilled. Simple as that. And I hope that you like this video. I hope that you love this video just like all other of my videos. I'll meet you tomorrow with some other new video, new topic. Till then, take care and bye.